What are you eating? It sounds like you're eating like a Chex Mix. Like pretzels and those hard little discs, whatever they are. They come in airplane Chex Mix things. They're like potato chips with the. Is that what they are?
Some crudité.
Yeah, I don't think it's crudité. Oh, you're eating crudité. That is what you're eating.
Some crudité.
Breakfast of champions.
Yeah, no, it was in the fridge. I played basketball again last night, and I don't know how long it's going to take to get my win back, but it wasn't. The answer to that question isn't less than a week.
You know what's weird about those things, and this happened with me a few times. Most recently, when I was playing floor hockey for the first time.
Nice.
But you get so fucking amped up for those pickup basketball the first time you play that like you just automatically are winded.
Yeah. I mean, this yesterday was a little bit. I made a quantum leap forward in terms of remembering, like my body remembering how to play basketball.
Yeah.
But almost a step backwards in terms of win because I lifted earlier in the day, which was probably a stupid idea. In fact, Allison was like, "Are you sure you should be lifting if you're playing basketball tonight? You can do both of those in the same day, really?"
She knows what's important. You gotta be on your. You're about to show up to the YMCA with a bunch of older gentlemen. You gotta be a top
older
shape.
And younger. The younger guys are they're giving me a problem. You know what it is, dude? Like, I took too long of a break from basketball. So the last time I played regularly, I was 34. I was playing twice a week when I was 34. And then I moved to Seattle, and I think I joined a league when I got there, but ended up not doing much beyond that. So it's been like 8 years since. It's been 8 years. Like my game hasn't developed with my age. So I'm still playing in my mind like I'm 34, and my body just can't do those things anymore. So I need to like spend some time figuring out my old man back down bank shot game. But I don't have size, so that like I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have that game, right? But
I think
like
you're
I can't go one being quick.
Finally coming to the realization that you're not built for basketball.
No, I'm not. Never have been. But I love it. I love it like
also it's
son-in-law.
It's very funny, yeah, like a son-in-law.
Right.
It's very funny to long for the days that you could do physically at 34 to do those things again.
Yeah, and that's not like I was catching alley-oops off the glass. I just meant like a layup. like a layup with your momentum moving forward.
Yeah, you'll get there. Or maybe you won't. That's fine. You're not getting any younger. You're not getting younger.
No.
Have you? I like the new meta in the NBA is throw to yourself off the backboard after you lose your dribble in the lane, and then dunk it.
Yeah,
that's happened more times this season. I feel like that it's happened in all the other seasons previously that we've been alive.
So I have memory of Kobe doing it more than once, and then I just saw Anthony Edwards this week.
Yeah,
everyone's all frothed up about him.
Why?
I mean, I heard Stephen A. Smith call him the next Michael Jordan, or maybe like he reminded him of Michael Jordan.
He's young, right?
I mean, he's young, but he's he's good. He's very good. When those two games I got to sit courtside for the Lakers, one of them was against the Timberwolves, and he was playing. He automatically stands out as, without knowing who the players are in the Timberwolves, immediately that he's the guy. But I don't understand why everyone is like comparing him to MJ. That seems like a bit of a stretch.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week is a long time to be broadcasting sports journalism.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to throw something in, especially this time of year. There's nothing to talk about other than the playoffs.
Well, yeah, you got the AFC and NFC championship game. Are you kidding me? Nothing to talk about. You got Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, there's only 2 games though. That's the thing. If there were, you'd have more to talk about in week 15,
Yeah.
week 6 of the NFL season because there's just everybody's still playing. Now there's only what 200 guys on rosters. There's
Yeah, it's
only
true.
so many stories. You can retell the Patrick Mahomes Britney high school love story only so many
Well,
times.
now if you want to go in the direction of a love story, you've got a that's the biggest story in the NFL and has been all season. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Yeah. By the way, I've come
Are
full
they?
circle on them. I'm
They
like
go,
a big supporter now.
yeah. Listen, come on. First of
I know.
all, there's an I know. There's the angle of just like it bothering you, which is silly. But there's also the realization that the NFL is not going to fucking stop doing that. They're not going to stop showing Taylor Swift. There are people who are tuning in to games now. There is at least one person
At least
in this country who is, I'm just making the case here for the NFL.
Yeah.
Let's say it's only one. The NFL will do whatever it needs to do to drive viewership by one. At the same, so they are going to who are watching the game strictly so that they will see Taylor Swift in the fucking stands. At the same time, there is not one person who is watching that Chiefs game that when they show Taylor Swift is turning it off. So
definitely, you're right.
There's no way that
there's no downside. There's no
downside. It's a perfect bet.
Yeah, it really is. And I got to admit, every time Travis Kelce does something, I'm yelling, "Show Taylor" at the screen.
Same.
And if they wait to do it until the commercial break, I'm annoyed. Like I want an immediate. In fact, fuck it, split screen. Let's split screen the whole game. I don't care. I want to see what's going on in that box. I want to see what she's wearing. I want to see how the relationship between her and Britney is developing because it seems like they got a fake frenemy thing going. Because for Britney was thrust into this position. She didn't ask to be friends with the most famous person in the world. She has to be, or else she is going to be perceived as a bitch, right? That's just the reality of the situation. You disagree?
I disagree that I feel any sympathy towards Britney Mahomes. She is
I'm not talking sympathy.
Well,
I'm not saying it's an interesting dynamic.
It is, but she has at this point won the life lottery 2 times at least. So she married Patrick Mahomes, and now she's friends with Taylor Swift. She did nothing to get either of those. I assume she's fine. I don't know anything about her, but
we got to get her a scouting job. She's got a real eye for talent. She keeps ending up in the right place at the right time.
Win the Powerball wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah,
but yeah, I love it. I wish if you were Peacock and they're playing in a next season, they're playing a Sunday night game. You're like, let's stream a fucking Taylor Swift stream. Where literally we have a camera pointed at the box and that's all. And it's $6 if you want to watch it. People would fucking pay for it. That would, to have it up.
Yeah. I mean, for $6, I'd want to see maybe a 3 or 4 camera setup in that luxury suite. I'm going to want to see what they're eating.
Or just show fans in general. Just like walk around the stadium and show fans and their reactions to the plays.
Is a great idea. It would end up being like awesome. I fucking shot the NFL game. Put a camera in everyone's hands.
In reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to show them. Dude, I never watched that, by the way.
Oh, really?
I did. Never watched it. I watched parts of it. The music is what I would want to hear, and it's not a perfect mix, right? Because they mix in a lot of the audio from the cameras.
No, they do a good job of giving you the satisfaction. I mean, they do mix in a lot of the audios from the camera. You got to remember, this came out when we were in college, right? Or right around that time, right before we went to college.
Maybe, yeah.
And the concept was so cool at the time because the idea that even 100 people who attended a concert would have access to a camera was mind-blowing. And then like 4 years later, that went out the window. And so it was a super creative idea. And it was fun during that time to like tell people about it and then watch it with them. You know, if they were Beastie Boys fans, you'd be like, well, guess what they did? They handed out these cameras. It was such a cool creative concept that I don't know if it'd be as enjoyable to watch outside of that, you know?
Yeah,
Like outside
like
of the time frame in which that's
yeah,
impressive.
you made a good point that
Yeah.
that every concert exists in that fashion on YouTube today.
Yeah,
You just have to
that's
piece
exactly
it together
right.
yourself.
And yeah, it wouldn't even be hard. You could just click from video to video from a Drake or a fucking Travis Scott concert. Can you explain Travis Scott to me,
No,
please? Because
I
like
I don't get. I don't know.
I'm lost at sea here. I don't know what he is. I don't know why he is. I don't understand his music. I feel like I just saw a video where he was playing a song that I've never heard of before 13 times in a row at his concert. It's called Fiend. Fiend? Fiend? Fine? Bien? I don't know. I don't know. I'm old. I guess like this is how our parents felt about us listening to, I don't know, Hand on My Nutsack by Coolio or Regulators by Warren G.
Why not?
They heard it and they were like, oh, okay, I kind of get it, but it's not for me.
Right.
And yeah, I'm on the outside of this thing.
He played a song 13 times in a row.
Bean. Do you want to listen to it? Oh, we can't.
No, I don't think it would explain anything. Let's put it. I don't think it would, make things more clear for us if we listen to it.
No, it definitely wouldn't.
People, man, that guy's crazy, right? People were dying at his concerts.
Yeah, I think that was like pent up COVID. We don't know how to act combined with poor crowd control and design.
It happened at a Travis Scott concert. That's all I'm saying.
Inciting a riot among his fans.
He was the unlucky one.
Yeah, man, that's actually kind of a tough thing. Like I don't.
Oh yeah.
He played it very well though. Issue an apology immediately, shut the fuck up for 6 months, and then go about your life.
Listen, yeah, the guy, and maybe that's why he's the one with Nike shoes that sell for 4 figures, for no reason. And he's he's got the right PR team. I like those shoes.
Me too.
They make
I like them a lot.
But I told you this. I think we went to a sneakers show, just looking for something to do, and this is around COVID time. I think. No, it couldn't have been. It was at the convention center. It was big.
Oh, I love that.
Just decided to walk down there one day, and they had cool shoes everywhere and whatever. Every vendor had those shoes, and they were all selling them for way too much.
Yeah,
and no one was selling them. Yeah, they're just sitting there.
Yeah.
It's like, I got a pair. It's like, all right, were you trying to sell them, or you just? And they're not worth $1,400 because everybody has them. So tell me why.
I've rarely seen those in the wild. Like I haven't seen them on feet very often.
Right.
Probably because they cost $1,400. But honestly, before I sold off my collection during COVID, that was the only pair that I wanted that I didn't get. Because once you have, 60 pairs, you can sell 3 pairs and buy anything you want, right? Or sell a pair. It's just very easy to. It's like swapping assets on the stock exchange.
Right.
But instead, they're worthless.
He's got golf shoes, right? You know that.
I'm about to know it though.
They're cool. I'm trying to pull up a good picture here.
Oh yeah. I'm not into the whole golf shoes that look like basketball shoes thing.
No, you're not. So what golf shoes do you like?
You would think I would be, right?
I would, yeah.
In the last 10 years, I bought 2 pairs of golf shoes and they were each like $40 or $50. I like the ones the Adidas ones that look and feel kind of like a sneaker, like a low top sneaker, and they still have good spikes. I also don't like the golf shoes that it's like barely a golf shoe. You know what I mean? Like they took some of the molded rubber underneath the shoe and just like, man, like just a little bit, just
increase the intensity slightly.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
I agree with you. I agree with those. Yeah. But I know guys who buy those shoes and wear them out
Same.
just regularly.
Oh. Wait, you're saying not on the golf course?
I know a guy who buys those shoes, and I had lunch with him, and he wasn't on his way to or coming back from the golf course. He was wearing them. Like, all right, man, come on. Like, yeah, they were on sale. I got them at Ross. Okay, I know, but they're golf shoes,
yeah.
And everyone who knows they're golf shoes is looking at you right now, wondering why you're in jeans wearing golf shoes.
There's never been a clearer I bought this from Ross purchase than a man wearing golf shoes in the general public, in the Gen Pop.
Yeah, I love those Adidas shoes that with the Boost on them. Boost is better than Air. Boost
100%.
Adidas Boost is probably the best leap forward in comfort and athletic footwear in our lifetime.
Yeah, and athletic footwear cushioning. I agree. And it felt like, so I think that the progression went Air, Nike Air, which was never really comfortable. It was just cool and well marketed.
Right.
Then Zoom, which I thought was a kind of a boost. Zoom walked so Boost could run. The Boost people were just like, what if we just take that Zoom and make it like, I don't know, 20 times thicker?
Yeah, right. Like people seem to like it. Why don't we add it more?
Yeah.
Well, we make $1 billion a year. We can make $998 million a year if we do
Look
that.
at like the Razer cartridge people. Remember that time, that brief time? So for years, it was the Gillette Sensor XL 2-blade razor. First razor I used. I'm assuming it's the first razor you used unless you went electric, right?
No.
Or no?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't remember.
You went electric. You don't remember?
I did not.
Then they came out with the Mach 3. And it wasn't long after that until they went from 3 to 6 razors.
What's the industry standard these days? 30?
6.
They stopped at 6, huh?
Yeah, they went hard from 2 to 6 very quickly and then plateaued. That's what we should do. We should just keep one-upping whatever Gillette does.
I envision Gillette and who else makes those things?
Dollar Shave Club.
Company.
Harry's.
Dollar Shave Club, like the heads of the 5 families meeting in a smoky warehouse somewhere, be like, we have to stop. We have to call a truce to the blade wars of 1996.
You're bankrupting ourselves. We can't keep going like this, boys. People are cutting their faces to ribbons.
Dude, I had a dream last night. You just reminded me. The dream was, the part I remember is very little, but it was like an ad for a TV show, and then like a lead into the beginning of the TV show where it was this, it was like a federal prosecutor show, and he was helping out people who needed help. I don't know how they got his fucking phone number, and he was like he'd called them back, and he was like, tell me what's going on. I need to investigate your serious federal crime. Except the role was played by Fred Armisen, and he's spoken that like baby voice the whole time. So he's like federal prosecutor calling people like, tell me what happened. Did you get a boo-boo? I don't know. Stupid.
Did you say that was a dream or an idea you had?
It was a dream I had last night.
That's crazy. I had a really interesting dream that I remember, like last night as well. And I woke up and I said, wow, I had the craziest dreams last night. One of those nights. everyone we went to high school with that I can remember was there. And we were in a big auditorium, and I kept coming across people I knew, and kind of like the scenery around was changing, but the auditorium stayed consistent for a long time. Like the format of everybody in auditorium chairs. And it's already fading as to what we did, but I remember waking up and thinking like, whoa. I remember talking to Jen Shine and Dan Kudzik. They're married still, right?
As far as
Yeah.
I know, I
But
don't
they lived up by
keep
you,
up with
know?
them. Yeah, they do. There's a lot of people who live around here. And like we talked about before, I'm in the mode of culling my friend herd.
Yeah. Thin it out.
We're
buddy.
Instagram friends. I do see Jen Shine stuff on Instagram, and it looks like they're still a happy family, which is cool.
Love it. And I saw Abby Droz in my dream, and I saw Billy Florkowski in my dream, and I saw oh god, I don't even remember that chick's name. Gretchen Dunbar? No. Gretchen Gunbar.
Gumbar.
Was that her name?
Yes.
No. Who sat in front of us in like 7th and 8th grade with Megan Terry?
I don't fucking know,
Gretchen.
man.
Yeah, you do. We talk to them
Who
all the
sat
time.
in front of us in 7th grade?
No, I think it was 7th
It's
and
Gretchen
8th.
Gumbar is
It's
her
Gretchen
name.
Okay, so then you do remember. I think we just.
I didn't
proved
know that she sat
my
in front
point.
of us in 7th grade, but yes.
Okay,
she's a
then
friend
how do
of
you
ours.
know her?
Because she was a fucking friend of ours. That's how I know.
I don't think we're talking about the same person.
Okay. So you saw some person who's not Gretchen Gumbar. Did you also see Gretchen
Nah.
Gumbar?
You know, I think it was Gretchen Gunbar. Now that I think about it. Who else did I see? I saw Adam Wazenegger. I saw Kylie Whalen multiple times, and I'm just at this point listing people we went to high school with.
I know. Yeah.
So
Who else do you
I went-
remember?
That's probably is. I'm surprised I remembered Gretchen Dunbar, but I did. Of the
Gumbar.
of the Upper St.
Gombar.
Clair Dunbar family. sounds prestigious. The Dunbars. I went to dinner with a buddy who I haven't seen in a minute on Monday night, and he was like, "So tell me about this show you're doing." And I said, well, it's just that, you saw my Instagram videos. He's like, yeah, I saw something about it. And it's like, what, your buddy from high school? And I was like, yep. And he said, and what is it for? And I was like, we're just doing it for fun because we're enjoying it. Oh, okay. So you guys probably aren't going to stick with it, right? I don't know. We've been doing it for over a year now, so I think it's fair to say we might stick with it. And he was like, "Okay, so you're building a brand." And I was like, "We certainly talked about it. I just think it's tough because both of us have full-time jobs, and I don't know, where we're going to find the time to cultivate a brand." And he was like, "Okay, so why are you doing it?" Like he brought it up so many times that at some point, like at one point in the conversation, I said, okay, I can see you're having trouble with the podcast thing. I'm going to just try to make it as simple as possible for you. He just couldn't get his head quite around it. It was close, but he couldn't quite get there.
It's not for everybody.
No.
You really, you gotta, there's a frequency on which we're vibrating that is not accessible by everyone in the general population.
Yeah, Gen Pop.
Gen Pop.
Do you have an Apple credit card?
No, I don't.
You should get one.
Oh, okay. Why? Let's hear why. Tell me.
Well, because it's beautiful.
Oh.
It's a good looking card.
If there's another reason to get a credit card, I have yet to hear it other than the way they look.
I'll show you the back. Don't worry, there's no numbers on it. Because it's just a clean, simple look. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah. They stopped issuing those, I thought. The Goldman Sachs one.
No, they ended their partnership with Goldman Sachs. I don't know if they're going to continue issuing them or they're going to continue with the Apple Card and all the benefits. So the thing I like about it is that if well, I guess this wouldn't apply as much to you, but I manage most of my subscriptions through the Apple Store, right? It's much easier. You keep everything in one place. So with that, I get 4% cash back on anything I spend through the Apple Store or at an Apple Store. And then that money automatically goes into a Goldman Sachs savings account, which right now I think is like 4.5% interest. Not bad for a savings account. All of the points and schemes and ways that you can get credit card points, I think that's probably the most practical of them all. So you should get
Cash
one.
back.
And good looking.
It's glowing. It's got like a little aura.
Yeah, it's got an aura, man. See?
Very nice. I don't spend any money in the Apple Store. That's the only problem.
Well, the Apple Store can be the virtual or the physical.
No, I know, but I've never bought anything from any Apple Store. So it'd be a significant change of life.
How can that
for
be
me.
true?
It is.
You've never bought anything from any Apple Store.
The only Apple thing I've ever bought is this MacBook, which I like a lot.
Did you get it from Best Buy or something?
I got it from B&H.
Did you
Photo
really?
and video. Yeah.
You ever been to that place?
No, but I have an idea of what it's like. It's like one of those where there's a little corridor as you walk in, and it's just like a glass case of all the electronics on the sides, and then you get to the actual front door. You can't touch anything.
An empty glass case. And when you ask to see something, it comes in on a conveyor belt. It's pretty cool.
They had a great sale on MacBooks.
Yeah, B&H is it's all Orthodox Jews.
Okay.
That own and operate it. It stands out. You know, it's noteworthy.
I guess. Well, listen, man, I'm supporting Israel, so there you go.
It's also like an entire city block. They've really expanded the space. They run a good business.
I'm surprised. I bought this thing and I had it less than 48 hours later, and it was perfect. I mean, it was brand new. The box was still sealed. It's not a refurb or anything like that. It's a 2-year-old model, which is good because that's what I wanted anyway. And 2 years old, you get a deal. You're muted. No, I think you muted yourself, and hang on, I can unmute you. I can't unmute you. There you go.
You got the M1, right?
M1 Pro.
Yeah.
Chip. M1 Pro in a MacBook Pro.
Is there a difference between the M1 and the M1 Pro chip?
I don't know what it is, but yes, there's 3 versions of those chips. M1, M1 really? Pro, and M1 Max.
Let's find out.
In fall of 2021, Apple tripled the number of Apple Silicon chips it had, introducing the M1 Pro and M1 Max as the mid-range and premium options. Well, not a full second generation release as you would see from an iPhone, whatever. The upgrade could be likened to a previous A series upgrade specifically for the iPad Pro. Okay, whatever. What's the specs here? So it's got 10 cores in it. That's different. It still has 6 no, I think it has 8 CPU. It has more cores.
I can't I can no longer access this computer. Look at this. I've been using this computer for a year now, and it's saying that it's owned by Miro and that I need to enroll in remote management. And then when I do, it gives me a welcome to Miro as if I just started working there.
That's cool. Let's head back in.
Okay, next. Well, this thing's useless.
So could you take that to an Apple store and be like, can you wipe this and start over, or no?
Yeah, so I did it once myself, reading how to do it online.
Yeah.
Clearly, I missed a step.
But you could take it there and redo it.
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess they're going to need to see some kind of proof that I'm not trying to steal a company's computer.
Right.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But
It's
anyway, there's a difference between those chips.
okay.
That was the big thing.
Well, so that's an M1. I was very curious to see which one it was.
It's probably just the M1. It's not the M1. If you're just using it for business stuff, you probably don't need it. The M1 Pro you don't need. It's overkill from everything I've read.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you get a computer that's overkill? Because in 3 years it won't be.
Yeah, the thing is with Ableton, they were saying that okay, so these M processors have performance cores and efficiency cores. I don't know how familiar you are with this.
Basically, my understanding is that they took the processors from phones and started putting them in laptops because they were advancing faster than Intel.
Maybe. Anyway, the M1 has 6 cores, 4 of which are performance, 2 of which are efficiency. The M1 Pro has 8 and 2. So it's got 8 performance cores. The thing with Ableton is it only uses the performance cores. It doesn't use efficiency cores in the processors. So the M2 chips still had 10, but it was instead of 8 and 2, 8 performance, 2 efficiency, it was 6 and 4. And then the M3s that just came out are like 5 and 6. So there's fewer. The M2 and M3 are actually worse for my use case than the M1. Yeah.
Could you say that for me one more time?
The M1 cores have 8 and 2, and the M2 are 6 and 4, and the 3s are 5 and 6. Do I need to repeat myself again?
No, I mean I think that makes complete sense, and I appreciate you breaking that down for me. You know, for a guy who doesn't like Apple products, you seem to know an awful lot about them.
I know a lot about this one. I mean, listen, I wish I could explain how hard I searched for an alternative to a Mac recommendation on the internet. I couldn't fucking find one, man. It took me a day. I was like, no, I'm not going to another Reddit thread where they recommend, where someone's specifically asking for a Windows machine and then the recommendations all come back Macs.
Well, look, there's just certain companies that do their thing so well that it really doesn't make sense to go in a different direction. And,
yeah,
and you know,
this is it.
What another example of that is, Rich? The iPhone. The only reason that you own an iPhone is because everyone else does. I'm sorry. The only reason you don't own an iPhone is because everyone else does.
Probably.
It is this. I think it's an indisputable superior device.
I'm sure it is, man. I've come to the realization that the things that I fucking hate at first, like the things I feel really strongly, a real strong dislike about before I know all about them, I'm fucking wrong about almost every time. And I end up liking them.
Yeah.
If I ever try it and I like want it later on, I need to just get over my point is I'm wrong about this stuff all the time.
It's a big statement. See, that's funny because I wouldn't have guessed you thought that. I would have guessed you would be like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do what I want and I'm not going to follow the crowd.
There's some of that.
But I think what you're saying is that attitude has led you astray.
It's just, I look back at certain inflection points in my life, and it's not everything, but like the best example is Girl Talk, right? That music. First time I heard it, I fucking hated it. I was like, I don't want to hear it. I heard like 30 seconds of a song. It wasn't in the right moment. I was like, I don't like this. I'm not going to listen to it anymore. I understand, but I don't like it. And then I don't know why, but it like popped back up on my spot. This is back in 2010. It popped back up, or I listened to it on Spotify or something. And I was like, wait a second. I'm totally wrong about this. This is literally for me life-changing music. And if I just get over, if I wouldn't have wasted that few weeks or months, whatever it was, it would have been, if I'd have just leaned into it instead of having this initial knee-jerk reaction of, I hate it, I don't want it, like, stop. That's something I realize about myself. When I have that feeling, really, it's like, stop.
That's a really self-aware and insightful observation. But I like that you do that. It tickles me.
If you're not doing shit like if you're not taking stock of what you're like, how your life has gone, I don't understand what we're doing as adults on a day-to-day basis. We just have it all figured out.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, I can assure you that I don't have it figured out. I feel like some people do, but I've never once had the feeling that I did.
Yeah, people are good at giving off the vibe that they've got it all figured out.
Yeah, I don't even know what that would look like. Like, I wouldn't even know how to fake it. That's how little I have figured out.
It's way too much of an acting job to portray that you've got it figured out.
You ever think about actors in general?
Yeah.
Like, what a crazy skill set. They can just be another person. And then they stop being, they say cut, and they stop acting like another person and resume being themselves. Like, I don't understand how you spend time around that and aren't weirded out. How do you ever trust someone like that?
Yeah. It's a weird skill set.
Yeah, it really is.
I think that they make it look easier. They have to, right? There's no chance that it's that easy, right? Where we can, you just have to have whatever flaw they all have that to be able to switch to being a different person. I think maybe we talked about it. I was reading stories about, I don't remember which movie or anything like that, but it was a particularly intense role for whoever it was that was playing this role. And they, from the time they walked on set until they left, they were that person, even if they weren't shooting. If they were outside their trailer, they were in the mindset of, I'm that person. So even taking direction from the director, they were not breaking character so that they could stay in. I think that's pretty impressive when you realize that they got to go to that level to do it.
Did you ever see the documentary Jim and Andy about when Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman in that movie Man on the Moon?
No. Oh, yeah, that's right. He did that, didn't he?
Yeah, but he took it to you got to watch that. It is, I mean, I'm very curious to hear your reaction. I think I know what it's going to be already, but I really want to see how you feel about that. You want to watch a clip of it to see how crazy it is? Because it's wild.
While you do that, I'm going to refill my coffee one more time.
Okay, buddy, get some coffee in you. I'll be frank with the audience now that it's just the two of us. First time I saw this, I thought, what an asshole. There.
I did see a Dave Chappelle has a bit about
in his most recent special. He met Jim Carrey for the first time when he was in this.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, not to spoil it, but there's a this is how I feel.
Okay.
We're not going to watch that one, but
and no one really knew what was real and not real half the time. I didn't know what was real and not real. You just went with Andy and Tony and wherever their whim took you. And the emotions oftentimes were very real.
You want me not to tell you what I really feel? Yes. Oh, so you want? Okay. Yes. All right. That's what I need to know then. All right. Then I won't tell you my concern.
You know, I just want to be supported. I mean, if I want to choose to do something, you should support me. I mean, I don't understand why you're always negative and you don't.
Jerry Becker, who was playing my father at one point, went crazy suddenly in the makeup trailer, started screaming at Andy as his father.
I'm angry because I love you. I'm not angry because I want to try to not give you support. Too late. Too late.
All right, fine.
You imagine being the hair person at this?
Dude, you don't understand what he did to these people.
Is that Paul Giamatti?
Yeah, he was in that movie.
So he's
And,
Andy
like-
Kaufman. I mean, he's Andy Kaufman right
He's
now.
Andy Kaufman the whole time.
She crying?
He's making people. Yeah, because dude,
Why is she crying?
I think because the guy who Jim Carrey was just arguing with was playing his father,
Yeah.
and Jim Carrey
Oh.
was having like a real emotional conversation as if his dad had let him down, and these people are watching it. But also, Andy Kaufman was famous for playing obnoxious pranks on people, and Jim Carrey really, like, I can't believe, and there probably were people in the production crew who quit because of him. He would like take a like a speaker and blast music at the loudest possible level and like lock it into a room next to where people were working. He
Listen, man,
really pushed it far.
I did see that movie and I thought it was good. But it's a little. You don't know whether it's Jim Carrey's awesome, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
he's
Yes.
How would you start this movie?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Carrey, and how are you this evening? Alrighty then.
Finding out you have
90s.
something special and it gets a reaction. That's how I got attention and love.
I've watched the stars fall silent from
Andy
Great
Kaufman
song.
came in to turn reality on its head and not stop when the camera stopped.
Andy Kaufman cared less about making his audience laugh than keeping them confused.
He blew my mind.
the
When
intergender
I heard I had
wrestling
parts,
champion.
I was
Yeah.
looking at the ocean, and that's the moment when Andy came back to make his movie.
Hello.
What happened after was out of my control.
Andy, that's enough. Perfect.
I don't like it. I want to do one more.
Andy felt it was necessary to stay in the character.
Is exactly the way Andy was. It's totally surreal.
And this crazy melodrama started happening all over the place. Jimmy said they came down hard. Who's they? Universal didn't want the footage we took behind the scenes to surface so that people wouldn't think I was an asshole.
Andy, you have to give me a chance to make a movie.
I don't need to make a movie. I don't need to make a movie.
I was thinking, how far should I take this?
Sound check. It's working.
How far would Andy take it?
You're gonna have people that are gonna sue this production for mental
Courtney
stress.
Love.
When the movie was over, I couldn't remember who I was anymore. So you step through the door not knowing what's on the other side. What's on the other side is everything.
If you believe they put a man on the moon, man on the moon.
I know him as well as I can know him. But who do you know? Even when they're right in front of you.
Very lot of really good sound bites there. Almost like it was planned.
Well, that is the interesting thing. When you watch the documentary, which again came out 20 years after the movie, it does feel like Jim Carrey was playing the long game. Like that he knew that he was being, there was footage of this. And so that was what he was really trying to make. It's pretty, I mean, it's high art. Don't get me wrong, but it but what an asshole at the same time. This is a man he never met. He stepped
man.
into the skin of a man he didn't know and
Right.
didn't stop acting like him. Meanwhile, Danny
love it.
DeVito, who was in Taxi with Andy Kaufman and did know Andy Kaufman, was on the set, and that's his dead friend that Jim
that's
Carrey's
true.
personifying. I don't know. It's definitely one of the more interesting things if you're into the process of filmmaking and a little peek behind the curtain. But really, it's just how far movie makers have to go to keep these megalomaniacs happy. It's weird.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I think I have more respect for Jim Carrey the later, the longer
Well,
he's
you
been
gotta
around.
watch the whole thing. I don't know that you're going to feel that way.
I don't give a
If you
shit,
come
man.
out of that thinking Jim Carrey isn't an asshole, I'll be shocked.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Hey, Jim Carrey isn't talking about the Rich and Josh show on his podcast.
You don't know that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know that. It'd be weird if at one day we logged on and that 0 up in the top left corner went to 250 just because and then somehow we had to figure it out. Like, how did that happen? 3,000 people.
We would just sit here and stare at each other.
Like, I don't know if I want this anymore.
It's a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah, that first hit because there's probably some it's like a glacier falling off an iceberg, right? Where it's just like really sudden and life changing. Where you get that happens a lot. I see it on Twitch. When streamers are done broadcasting to thousands of people, which if you think about, some of these people are broadcasting like 40,000 people playing fucking video games. 40,000 people. That's like a stadium full of people.
Yeah.
5 days a week.
It's like everyone you've ever met in your life.
Some of the ones that only, let's say a few thousand people, which is still a ton. They, at the end of their streams, will send there's a function in Twitch where you can send viewers to a different channel automatically. It just happens. And sometimes they pick guys who are playing, to 6 people. And then all of a sudden 2,000 people show up in their chats. And and you can watch their reaction in real time. It's kind of funny.
That's awesome.
Oh shit. And not everyone continues to watch that channel, but they get a lot of followers. And then now that person instead of 6 is now streaming to, when he turns on the, his stream, instead of 5 and 6, it's now like 80 or 90. That's huge.
Yeah. What's the level you have to get to? And I don't know if you know this, but on Twitch to monetize, to like actually make enough money where you can, feel like you've made it.
Make enough money is subjective, but there's definitely,
I guess you're right.
A lot of these guys don't live by themselves. They don't,
right.
They're still living at home. They're just in their bedroom with a green screen.
Yeah.
So, they don't need to make that much. But,
yeah.
And I'm not talking about, these aren't kids either. These are adults. You have to hit certain hurdles before you can monetize at all.
Right.
But I think it's like, if you want to do it full time, for people like us, it's just, it's not within reach.
No.
But if you were right out of college honestly, or something, or in college, that's the other thing, man. If it was in college.
Yeah, that's who can do this though, because we just invested into a different part of our lives. But like, how much fucking work it would be to maintain that?
Yeah.
I think it's way harder than what we do. Certainly harder than what I do.
I think that the core piece of it is something that you absolutely would do otherwise, right? So if you weren't streaming, you would still be playing video games and that specific Super Mario Brothers game, right? Like you would. And if that's not the case, then you'll never get to that point. There's a dude who does nothing. I've watched him for years. He does nothing but speedrun Super Mario Brothers 3.
So
to the
then,
point where he had to have like carpal tunnel surgery on his wrist. Because it's just, that's all he does. That's all he'll ever do, right? Like if he's not streaming to people, he's going to do it himself anyway. That's their life.
yeah, but how doesn't he market himself, or he doesn't have to promote?
Sure.
People just show up.
Yeah.
That's the
All
part
that
that's
stuff.
exhausting.
That's the job stuff that you don't
Yeah.
have to do if you're not streaming. But if you're trying to like be a brand, I mean, these guys all have logos and merch and shit like that. That people, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
people buy. I don't know why you'd buy that, but
I bought a T-shirt of my favorite Super Mario 3 speedrunner, Steve.
yeah.
Speaking of merch and super talented people, did you listen to Little Dicky's new album, Penis?
How do you feel
You
about
don't watch the show, correct? You watched
Correct.
an episode or two? Okay.
I watched an episode. Yeah.
So it's an album of all the music from the show. So you know, I've heard minute long snippets of all of these songs, and now it's the full song. And in some cases, it's just the snippet again that's kind of repackaged, and in other cases, it truly is a full song. He's so, I can't imagine what it would feel like to wake up one day and realize that I was so good at something, and I had no idea, and now I'm doing it for a living. Right? So his life in general just blows my mind. And how good he is at rapping blows my mind. Right? I think he's got to have the courage to upset his fan base a little bit.
Right? He hasn't done that, or
the dick jokes and the well, I think that like as a 42-year-old man, I like it. It's good music, but it's also like okay, man, you're almost 40. Time to grow up a little bit. Like the name of the album is Penis. That should tell you all you need to know. But he did this like short film where he plays the Joker, like the Heath Ledger Joker. And he's coming in to like upset the music industry, and I don't know, I think it kind of falls flat. It's a tough thing to pull off. But sonically, musically, very, you know, much higher production level than anything he's done before. But like, dude, he did Freaky Friday, which has like 750 million views on YouTube with Chris Brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember. I've seen that. That was good.
All of his stuff has a crazy amount of views, but I don't think this. Although the album went #1 on iTunes, so maybe people are getting behind it because of the show. But like he did these music videos for each song, and like released all of it with the album. But the music videos are like clips from the show, rearranged to kind of fit the song. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the like, everything he's released has just been like popping and crackling with creativity and energy and artistic energy, and this doesn't have that same feel for me. But there's a few great songs. I don't know if it's, yeah, I guess that's what you'd call it, right? Selling out. But it's more like he's extending this thing he already did. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like the dude doesn't come out with an album in 7 years. Like, then there's no music on there that I hadn't heard before.
All right. So out of 10, what's your rating for Penis?
I give it I'd give it a 7.5, which is still pretty high.
Well, there you have it.
I give it 7 out of 10 peanuts. Like there's some songs on there that like are legitimately great rap songs. But some of it's kind of silly and stupid. The song Jail is by far one of the most artistic, creative, and I think it's the best showcase of his talents. It's a 7 or 8 minute long song where he talks about how he was performing, and he tells a story, and it sounds like he's speaking, but he's speaking on rhythm, and he's playing both sides of the conversation and doing voices and like taking you through a story that is so much fun. And he did it on the show and brought it to life and like visualized it all. But it's about how he's at a show and he shows the crowd one of his nuts, and then he gets arrested for revealing himself at a all ages show and gets put in jail, and it's pretty funny. Then he goes to jail and like, yeah.
It's the penis angle.
And well, the penis angle is that like when he gets in jail, his plan to stay away from being raped is to give willing head. So he puts up a sign-up sheet in the cafeteria, and it says like, rather than rape me, I could be your companion. What a joy I could be for you. Sign up below. It's pretty funny, but that's kind of what I mean. Like he's at the level creatively of like, I don't know who's a very creative rapper other than Kanye.
Ad Rock is probably one of the most creative rappers.
Adam Yauch. Actually, Adam Yauch is a good analogy because he was the creative driving force behind a lot of the stuff they did. So he's kind of got that. He's got that level of creativity, but he's kind of hiding it behind dick jokes.
Got it.
And I think he's reached the point where he doesn't need to do that anymore. So I'd love to see him just ditch that and make real music.
Well, 7 years from now, you may have your wish.
Yeah, it's true. Fiona Apple, Radiohead, and Little Dicky. They only come out with albums every 7 or 8 years.
Not to switch it back to golf, but this is kind of interesting and newsworthy. An amateur won a PGA Tour event last week. I don't know if you saw that.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like an amateur.
Well, so this isn't some kid who just happened to show up. This is a division, like the best player on Alabama's golf team. But still,
there you go.
That's a big deal. That is a big deal. It hasn't happened in over 30 years. So now this guy's got. It was
an open event that anyone could join, I guess, or does he have to go professional now?
This was a PGA Tour event that I guess he qualified for, got a sponsor's exemption to play in. And the idea with those is, I'm going to go get some experience. I'm good enough to play on the tour. I want to figure it out. Kind of feel what that's all about, I guess, and just figure out a way to stay competitive and get competitive rounds in the off season. The dude won. So he's 20 years old, and you have to declare whether you're an amateur or professional before you play. So he doesn't win any of the money, which is a big deal.
And if he flipped to a pro, would he get the money?
No.
Or he would have had to declare that way at the beginning.
You got to declare that, and you declare as a pro. Now you're not. Now you're off of Alabama's golf team.
Can't have
all those things. You can't just do it.
Right.
So here's the decision to make. Winning it is one thing, but now the guy just won this event. I think he also won the amateur last year. He did. You can now declare as a pro. When you win an event on the PGA Tour, you are exempt for the remainder of that year and the following 2 years. You do not have to worry about losing your tour card.
Wow.
So through 2026, whether he starts now or at the beginning of next season, he is exempt onto the PGA Tour. He can start playing for money as soon as he makes that call.
He's got to leave college.
He's got to leave college, and the expenses of becoming a tour player now become his, right?
Right. Or as sponsors.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, you can get sponsor money, but you can now in college get sponsor money. They all have NIL deals.
Yeah, that's right. Even golf.
Even golf. I mean, that usually historically when amateurs would play in events, they would wear like their college hat or something like that,
Yeah, I
or
remember
whatever.
Tiger Woods with all the Stanford gear.
Now, he showed up to that tour event looking like a tour player. He had like an Adidas hat on and TaylorMade bag and clubs and all that shit. Because TaylorMade
with the giant oversized logos.
Yeah, he's a walking billboard. He looked the part. So he's already been getting that money. And now he's obviously outperformed that deal. So who knows what will happen in the next few weeks. But it's not like he's not making any money. He also won the US Amateur last year, which got him into the Masters and the US Open. He's also now won a tour event, which gets him into the Masters, and I think the Open as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just the Masters. So what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Live Golf is out there as well, and let's say they offer him $20 million.
Yeah, you take that. There's no question about that. 20 million, yeah.
I understand the number is yes. I want that money.
Yeah, it's fuck you money. You take that every time.
Here's the thing you need to consider. He's not a 42-year-old guy making nothing now.
Right.
He's a 20-year-old college kid from Alabama who now could have the possibility of getting paid $20 million to play golf around the world with no friends. Right? You're not friends with the people you're going to Dubai with to play at whatever live event that is.
$200 million, right? So you're not even peers with them.
No.
I mean, you're peers with some of them.
Sure.
I don't know.
I'm sure you'd be friendly with some people. But no, that's the other thing. It's like not a super competitive tour, so everyone's rich, so no one cares that much. But still, traveling the world. And if you
take that money, what are you beholden to?
Right. That's the unknown.
That would be
show up to
the
Sheik's
deciding factor.
Birthday party every year.
Yeah, right. Like if I'm now in the family, the Saudi royal family, I don't know if I'm going for that, or like you gotta make an appearance at Sheikh Al Rahman Abdullah Sabi's baby shower.
Daughter's 10-year-old birthday party. And talk about nothing except for how good at golf you are. What are you gonna discuss otherwise with anyone else?
There's this one scene in 30 Rock where Liz Lemon, Tina Fey, is looking to buy an apartment in New York and like found her dream apartment. She wants to buy the apartment above her to then make a second story thing. And she's like, I don't know if I can do it. I think I've got the money. And then another real estate agent walks in with the sheik. And he looks at the apartment and he goes, I'll take it. My son can keep his motorcycles here.
Right.
It's like, it's her dream apartment. And this guy's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll take this one.
Yeah.
I think I would probably, it would depend on, look, how many friends does this guy have in college? You know how much time you have to spend playing golf to get good enough in college to win a PGA Tour event? He's probably a pretty dedicated individual.
I'm sure. Yeah, but I'm sure he's very close with like his team.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So you're kind of comparing the instant money to the priceless experience of that time in college, right?
Yeah,
especially
and I
if
think
you're playing sports at a high level on a team.
And it's not exactly priceless either. Again, if he's not making millions of dollars a year now, he is now. If he wasn't before, he is now.
Yeah,
and
so you've got money coming in.
And let's be real. Like no Division I college golfer is probably ever left wanting for anything ever in their life, right? They don't have a problem coming up with cash. Is my point. If you're that good at golf, if you're that good at golf, you grew up in a situation that's conductive to
I see
being
what you're saying.
doing nothing but playing fucking golf all year. You didn't have a job in the summertime, right? You got dropped off at the country club from as
We
early as
haven't
you
really
can remember.
seen a golfer yet that came from nothing, have we?
Even Tiger, who was famously a public course golfer, still grew up in a family with a good income, enough that they could play golf all the time.
I thought that he was always playing on clubs.
Mm-mm.
Wasn't his dad
No,
a
he
pro
used to-
or close to a pro?
His dad was in the military, and they used to play on base.
Is that right? Why do I have
Yeah.
a memory? I know he was his golf instructor, so he clearly knew how to play, but he never played professionally.
No,
Earl Woods. Well,
he just knew
yeah,
how to
okay. I guess
torment his son.
he's the closest we've seen to an outsider on the tour. Not to mention
And
the
to be
race stuff.
fair, I mean, we don't know every guy on tour, and maybe there's someone else who has a similar upbringing, but the cards are just,
Yeah, no,
dude.
you're right.
If you're not a member at a country club, like, it's just not.
Yeah, how are
gonna
you
happen
even
for
playing?
you.
How are you even playing that much golf then?
You've got to
unless
compete
you're
with other
on-
people who are members at country clubs.
Right, and unless you're on a golf team, unless you're a natural, you picked it up in high school, played on the golf team, and that's how you got access to courses and playing time.
Sure.
That could happen, but that's unlikely. So you're right. It's chances are this kid's not hurting. Yeah, man, that's
right,
a tough
so-
one. I think if my dream were to play on the pro tour, you never know if you're going to get another shot. So you got to take it. You got to. If you're pretty confident that that's coming anyway, and you're like, even if it doesn't work out, I don't care. I want to enjoy this moment. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with either of those decisions, but everybody is going to be telling him, "Oh my God, why didn't you take 20, millions? Why didn't you do what we think makes sense?"
I think what he could do is, he can ride out. He won at the beginning of this season, and he can wait until the beginning of next season to flip and take his PGA Tour membership. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Do you just kind of ride it out in college?
Keep his card. He can keep his card, and he doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to play on the tour.
He can defer his PGA Tour membership until the beginning of next year.
Well, then that's what I would do.
I think I'd do the same thing. I think I would let the expense of I would fucking do nothing at University of Alabama except for play and practice golf. I ain't coming to class. Go ahead, kick me off the fucking team. I don't give a shit. What am I gonna do?
No class, but plenty of time on campus.
Oh yeah,
that would be my MO.
I'm gonna be living at the golf. I'm gonna listen. Passing the expense of coaching and facility access. Again, we're acting like these guys are regular Joes. They got to go and pay for their own memberships anywhere, which isn't the case. But just having the access to do that at Alabama, as opposed to, I don't know, does he buy his own house in Alabama and then join a country club and now have to go there and deal with the membership and practice and get better there and pay for his own coaches and all that bullshit, as opposed to just staying at Alabama, hanging out with your boys for another 8 months, winning tournaments, winning another US Amateur, still gets to play in the Open and the Masters because he won the US Amateur last year. This he's not going to not make it on the PGA Tour. Right?
Yeah, this is a pretty unique scenario, but
yeah,
it's an interesting one.
It is interesting. I like thinking about the economic side of things rather than like the competition side of things. Who cares?
Yeah.
About that.
What's his name? Do you know his name? Do you remember?
Yeah, Nick Dunlap.
Oh, dude, that's like Gretchen Dunbar. That's a great name. Bringing it back full circle to Gretchen Dunbar.
Yeah, Nick Dunlap. You need to get those Air Dunlaps.
Fuzzy Dunlop. Did you ever watch the show The Wire?
No.
Where they made up.
I tried. That was another one I tried to. I tried to watch it, and I just did not get into it.
Yeah, I think I watched the first episode of The Wire like 5 times before I finally I was in the right mood to whatever. And then it's off to the races from there. It's a great show. Allison even watched it. She was like you. She couldn't get into it, but I sat her down and forced her to watch it, and she loved it.
There are some shows where I'm into it from the. Sorry, I didn't mean to make your point.
That was it.
Have you ever watched The Wire? Game of Thrones I turned on. I didn't watch until they were, I think, almost done with the third season, and I hadn't watched it yet. My landlord at the time got I didn't have HBO, and then she got it, and we were all sharing the same cable account. So I had it, and I think I was hungover one day, just flipped one on Saturday morning, flipped on the first episode, and by like Sunday night, I had watched the first 2 seasons. Breaking Bad, same thing. But The Wire, I just did not, I didn't get that. And I was like, you know what? Don't force it. You don't have to spend the next 20 hours of your life watching TV.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Did you ever watch Peaky Blinders?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Good content.
Yeah, I'll tell you what show have you ever watched? And I don't know if you've watched it recently. America's Funniest Home Videos is still on the air, pumping out new episodes.
It's a great show. Have you been following along the Portland ice storm videos?
No. What's going on in Portland?
Dude, they got like 4 or 5 inches of ice.
Ooh.
Like the streets looked like a skating rink. And the first thing I did was go immediately to TikTok and start watching videos of people trying to climb up the hills. There's so many of them, and they're all epic. There's a video of a fire truck that does a full donut on like a residential street, knocks a car out of someone's driveway, and then finishes by hitting a house. A fire truck.
I've seen that video. That's crazy.
It is crazy. You want me to see if I can find a Portland ice storm?
Let's spend 10 minutes doing that.
Why not?
I am reading a story on Portland. What is this? What publication is this? Portland Monthly.
Yeah, get into the Portland Monthly. That's going to be your
Ice Talk.
boots on the ground.
Portland Ice Talk it's taking over social media. People falling on ice is fucking funny.
This guy's ice skating. Yeah.
How much ice did they get?
Like 4 or 5 inches.
That much?
Yeah. I don't want like this. I want. Thank you.
Oh man, there's just cars sliding
This is all like
sideways.
news coverage. Here we go. Where did this person
Now
think
what?
they were going?
Now what do you do? Was there someone in that car?
Good question. Yeah, you better think twice about what you're going to do next.
Yeah, really.
Guys,
Like if that person was actually trying to like go somewhere. There's man, people just throw self-preservation out the window sometimes with this weather. Like they're trying to prove that it's not going to be as bad as it is. I'm sure that ice storm didn't just pop up out of nowhere. I'm sure they were forecasting it. People were like, I don't care, man. It's not going to be that bad. I'm going to the store.
Where are the videos of people falling?
I'm seeing some GIFs about it.
Can you share them? Because this is all like, why would I want news coverage?
Go to Ice
Shorts?
Talk. Type in Ice Talk. Ice
No,
TOK.
it's Martin Luther King Day. What are you gonna do?
Oh, probably what I do on every Martin Luther King Day. I'll just plant.
Where was that going? Chris Elliott, Jeff Daniels.
Oh, didn't I tell you about this chick who plays the NPC?
Ice Spice, yeah.
No, watch this chick.
Take your cash, take your kilo. Yes, yes, yes. Take your audience. Oh, take your Samantha. This is so cool. Take your cotton. Take your meals. Take your I'm ready. Gang, gang. Oh, take your baby. This is for you. Take your cash, take your kilo. Yes, yes, yes. Take your audience.
Do you understand what's happening there?
I do. And I'm not into it.
You see that there's 17,000 people currently watching it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Gang, 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 gang. She's holding one of those hair straighteners. And what she does is, you see the little bowl of popcorn kernels?
Yep.
She puts a popcorn kernel in the flat iron and waits for it to pop, then does it again. And then she goes. She has like a standard reaction for everything that happens, every animation, which, by the way, every time you see that, that's a gift. Someone's paying her. You get how it works. I don't need to explain the internet to you.
It's listen, it's a brilliant idea. People love hearing their fucking names. They love hearing famous people say their names. That's why people love Peloton.
This is why the Denver Nuggets mascot makes $600K a year.
That looks really dangerous.
Yeah.
Did you ever see? I got the best Denver Nuggets fucking video for you, mascot video, if you ever want to see it. All right,
pull it up. I want to see it right now.
Yeah. I gotta find it.
Gang, 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 gang. Ice cream's so good. Yeehaw! Riding like a cowboy.
This is one of the best videos on the internet. This is like a.
Speaking of best videos on the internet, Nikola Jokic is your favorite player. I'm deciding for you that your favorite player is Nikola Jokic because he doesn't give a shit about the NBA, but he's like just the best at it.
I know. I do like
hilarious.
him. I think he's great. All right, so I want to give you some context here.
Like he dropped 60 points, and then he's like, they're like, "Hey, what do you think about the game?" He's like, "I don't care about any of this. Why are we all here? This is stupid. You're stupid. There's bigger things in the world."
I agree.
Tee it up.
So, what you need to understand here is this is at the beginning of a game, and I don't know the specifics, but this is the mascot's being lowered from the rafters. The problem is, as like I can't believe you've never seen this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's starting to ring a bell. I'm kind of remembering that you showed me this, but maybe let's roll tape.
So the mascot is coming down from the rafters at the beginning of the game, delivering the game ball, whatever. I don't know.
Dismiss that so I can see how many views this has.
Dismiss. Oh, this.
Okay, this
205,000.
must just be a small one. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Problem is the guy in the mascot costume passed out before all this. Before all this happened. So this is what it looked like.
Everybody make some noise. It looks like the Medellin cartel is lowering him from the helicopter.
It's one of the best videos on the internet. Everybody make some noise. Oh my god, dude.
You know what we should do is we should do a show where we just go back and like we prepare ahead of time our YouTube Hall of Fame playlist. I have a playlist, YouTube Hall of Fame, that I'll add things to along the way. And I'm going to show you one real quick because it's only 35 seconds long.
Those are the best ones. It's tough. A 2-minute video is too long for this kind of thing.
If I say San Diego fireworks, does that mean anything to you? So 1 year in San Diego, there was a big fireworks show, except for they accidentally set them all off at once.
Oh, yeah. By the way, best fucking fireworks show of all time.
I know. Dude, look. Look at how terrifying this is.
This is insane.
Oh man, I love it. By
Yeah.
the way, let's talk about
That's how all
fireworks
fireworks
shows.
shows should be.
I totally agree. They're, everyone's sitting around waiting. The first couple go off. That's fine. You're a minute into a fireworks show. You're like, all right, let's speed this up. Like, I get it.
Yeah,
Okay, you got the ones that look like shapes, and that's cool, but I'm ready for it to be over. I don't need a 20-minute fucking fireworks show, man. I want like a 4-minute fireworks show. That's it.
You don't want to enjoy the one that looks like a cowboy hat individually.
Right.
I want to see a 200-foot column of smoke and fire, like a mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what we should do. Instead of fireworks shows, let's fucking set off a nuke. Let's let everyone enjoy that.
That makes perfect sense.
What do we
Just
got?
show
All
me
these
where the
things?
flaw in that logic is.
Look, they did it for the Trinity test. You saw Oppenheimer, or you probably didn't because everyone else did. But if you had, you would realize that it's been done. Do you know how many nuclear devices have been detonated on Earth?
I
Take a
don't.
guess. Just take a stab.
1,000. Are you looking up the answer? Because you don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't remember what it is. Yeah, okay. I got the answer. Okay. No. Double that.
2,000.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot
Yeah,
of
man.
nuclear devices. There's like an animated map that shows you like starting basically the Trinity test, which was the first nuclear device ever detonated before and during World War II, the Manhattan Project. And then they start showing like a little explosion on the map every time it happens. And you'll see in the US, pop, 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 pop. And then you'll see in Russia, pop, 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 pop. Then you'll see in US, pop, 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 pop. Like they're just going back and forth and detonating these things. And then like France will do one and,
North
every
Korea.
other country. Yeah. Well, North Korea. Yeah.
Obviously.
North Korea. I mean, I hate to say this because the last thing I want to see is a thermonuclear war, but if Kim Jong-un doesn't do something, he's kind of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been running that trap for a long time now.
Yeah, are things that much better under his watch
Like-
in North Korea?
How many times can you say that we're going to turn the evil empire of the United States into a fiery graveyard without doing it? His people
I
are going to
agree.
hold him accountable to these promises.
He better hope that by the time the next election rolls around, he's got something to campaign on.
That's exactly right. I could just imagine him sitting around a table talking to his coterie of most trusted advisors, and someone says something like, Kim, we should do it this way or that way, and he just looks around and goes, cure him. And they drag that man out, and he's dead. I would imagine that is exactly how it goes. No exaggerations. You
It's
think
like
that's true?
very Dr. Evil style.
Yeah.
Right. It's like real
Yeah, I mean,
elaborate,
wears the
like
same
the
outfit.
chairs that just
Yeah.
yeah, the trap door opens behind the chair at the table and they just get dumped into it automatically.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of what I picture, and I don't know. He should bomb someone just to like show he can do it and will do it.
I think
Let's look
He
at it from
would
his
love-
perspective.
here's his. I'm gonna take a wild stab at his perspective. Okay, he's North Korea. They make nothing. There's no industry there. They make nothing. They are reliant completely on China giving them everything.
And Russia.
And now
Yeah.
and now Russia.
Yeah.
And if they start a fucking war, China and Russia are going to be the ones that have to come to their aid. And I'm sure that Xi is saying, listen, Kim, I know you want to fucking start a fight, but you aren't going to be the one fighting.
Yeah.
as soon as it starts. So don't.
And how do you think
or
Kim
else-
reacts to that? Oh, you can't tell me what to do.
No, I think he's not. Again, he's not suicidal. If he was, we'd already know the answer to this question. But I
mean, if you're gonna go the suicide route, that's definitely one of the more impressive ways to do it. Suicide by thermonuclear war.
Me and everybody else. I mean, listen, that's like it's like a Jim. What was that guy's name?
Brewer.
Nah, Jim. Is it Jim? It wasn't Jim Jordan. He's the guy in. Or maybe it was Jim
Jones.
Jim Jones. That's
The-
kind of
the
a situation
Kool-Aid?
like a Jim's. Yeah. Right. But are the people in North Korea
That was sad.
as
man.
invested?
That was sad.
It was terrible.
He
but
made
it
him
kinda-
drink the Kool-Aid several times without it being poisoned, although he told them it was poisoned.
Right.
That's
tested everybody.
diabolical. Yeah, so that in that way, when it came time to actually poison them, like they were like, it's probably just another test.
Well, I think first of all, going down that rabbit hole is a creepy thing. That
Yeah, it really
there's
is.
there's audio of that day, man, and
Yeah.
it's extremely eerie to hear. Also, that happened because he had just killed a congressman.
Senator. Yeah,
Senator.
yeah, congressman. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
And so there was
That's
no,
right.
it was going to end at that point. There was no, I mean, you don't fucking kill someone who serves in the House of Representatives.
Yeah, they
even if you're
followed
in
him to
another
his
country.
plane. They killed him and his wife too. I think.
Yeah, there were more people than just that one guy dying. Like everyone who was with them got killed.
But I would imagine that guy thought he was pretty safe, right? Just because
Maybe.
of what you just said, the implications of killing a member of our Congress is, especially if you're declaring yourself as an independent state or whatever wacky shit he was cooking up. It's not going to go unnoticed by the U.S. military. They would have come down on him pretty hard.
They were in Guyana. They weren't in the
Yeah,
United
French Guiana.
States.
Or Cuba
And-
or somewhere like that. I think it was
Yeah.
Guyana. Yeah.
Right. But just, you can't. So I guess my point is he came back and he told he's like, listen, they're coming for us. This just happened. So this is the real deal. The problem I have with it. Here's the thing that
why
rubs
do you
me the
take
wrong
issue
way
with
about the
that?
mass. Here's the thing that rubs me the wrong way about his mass suicide. He didn't drink the Kool-Aid. He shot
know.
himself. He didn't have
Yeah.
to suffer.
Although I don't know, was it suffering? Is that the audio where people like moaning in pain?
I mean,
I don't know what happens when you
it's-
drink cyanide.
I assume it's not an instant thing. I'm assuming there is
Okay.
some
That's
level
terrible.
of discomfort between the time you drink it and the time you actually die.
There's some crazy
But-
stories from that day too of people who, for whatever reason, didn't drink it or, like devotees that where they were like in the bathroom when the call to action came out, or they were in the woods because their kid ran away or something like that. There's some crazy stories of almosts, but mostly, yeah. I mean, the pictures, the audio, it's all haunting. What a crazy, crazy thing. Ruby Ridge, Jim Jones, although those aren't the same thing. It's kind of like man versus government. Man
Waco.
versus the Waco. Waco was a fucking nutso thing. I remember just seeing that as a kid. Do you remember like your thoughts about it? I didn't totally follow what was happening because it's a very nuanced situation.
Same, and we were pretty young, but I definitely remember
Yeah.
the name, the what happened at Waco. I remember there was a fire. I didn't know why
Yeah, the
it
fire,
started or
right?
anything.
The
I know the
images
name
of the big
David
black smoke.
Koresh. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
a name that is just kind of seared into everyone's memory because it's so big.
There's a good show about Waco. I think it might actually be called Waco. And I think they do a good job of telling the story of Waco not as a bunch of religious maniacs, but a terrible mismanaged situation between a group of ultra religious people and the government. Both sides fucked up hard. But like that should have never gotten to that point, right? Never.
No, again, without knowing the details, it just seems like that's the not to tie it back, but that's the nuclear option is to burn
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah,
burn
just
everyone
kill
down.
them.
And then it got a
in the
little more
windows and
lighthearted.
shoot.
Then our mass suicides got a little more lighthearted for a little bit with Heaven's Gate.
T and Doe.
That was a fun one. That was a fun one.
Do you remember that guy? T and Doe, the husband and wife, the guy, well, he was just like,
and the comet is coming. And behind the comet is a spaceship that we will all be. There was a great Saturday Night Live skit after that happened. We were like, we did it. Yeah, we're up here. We're on the spaceship. We made it. Yeah, that guy.
Dude, their website, as recently as, I don't know, 10 years ago, was still up. Let's see if it's still up. There it is.
I don't think they had a ton. That is a GeoCities website if I've ever fucking seen one. Red Alert.
Hail Bop
Hail
brings
Bop.
closure to Heaven's Gate. That was the comment. Doe's intro, our purpose. Statement by an ET presently incarnate. You want to see their present mission?
Yeah, sure. Oh, it's a lot of text.
I love the image in the top left here.
That's where we're headed. A lot of text. They gotta tighten that up. A mission's got to be brief, elevator speech kind of thing. You need one or two phrases.
I got it. I got an answer for that.
Man, I didn't work Monday or Tuesday. And I haven't checked my email, and I'm waiting. I know as soon as this is over, I'm going to open my laptop and see the carnage.
This passage appears to be a narrative from a group of individuals who claim to have experienced a period of seclusion and then reemerged into public life in the early 1990s. They discuss their efforts. By the way, how amazing is it that I can just do this? They mention their interactions with former members who reconnected. The passage also alludes to a belief in some sort of cosmic or extraterrestrial connection and mentions the idea of a second rapture or a significant.
So you just literally copied the entire text of that webpage and put it in ChatGPT and said, summarize it?
I actually said, summarize this nonsense for me. Now we're going to ask, do you think these people were right?
Do you ever feel the need? I do this. When I'm typing something in ChatGPT, I'm always saying please. I'm asking it like nicely to do things for me. Say, can you please summarize this?
They don't know what's up with you.
Oh, well, yeah. Let's say when Jim Carrey is an asshole.
Oh, they're trying to like talk sense to me. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want anything to do with that shit, man. I just want to know why Jim Carrey is an a-hole. Do you have one of these?
Yeah. I have a black one.
Whoa.
I didn't get the special edition white. That's a Theragun brand?
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think, yep, Theragun.
They're great. Very quiet. I can't hear it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's more a testament to the microphone. Yeah, if I don't start thunder gunning hard here, I'm not going to be able to walk in a day or two. So the question is, do I play again on Thursday? Right? So I played last Thursday and I played last night.
I think you gotta either figure out quickly your actual physical ability and, figure out your game and go in saying, I'm not going to take it hard, or you don't play. If you're
take it hard, meaning like if I suck, or you mean like
you're not D'ing everyone up.
Yeah,
100%. You're not cutting to the hoop and shit. That's when you get hurt, man. Listen.
That's the problem. Is like moving without the ball exhausts me. Like I can play defense and I can stand in a spot, and then if I get the ball, I can make a move and shoot it. That's all the energy I have. I can't fucking run without the ball and like get over screens. Are you kidding me? I was guarding a guy yesterday who was 29 years old, and he was an outside shooter, and he was getting screens left and right, and he's doing like the Steph Curry step back, and he was hitting them. And I'm like, so two games in, I was toasted.
Yeah.
Like I literally sat out a game after I had won, because I was that tired.
So maybe don't play on Thursday.
Yeah.
Don't play
How long
tomorrow.
do you think it'll take to get my win back? Like to get my stamina back enough to play like 4 games of full court?
I think it'll take, well, listen, I think again, it's going to more come down to your realization that what you think is getting your win back is not actually getting your win back.
Yeah. I mean, 8 years is a long time, dude. It's a very long time.
Fucking 42 years is a long time. 40s.
No,
man.
I mean, yeah, 8 years, but the difference between 34 and 42 is massive.
Sure.
Couldn't be bigger. But there was a guy there who's 67 and recovering from prostate cancer that was playing, and he could go up and down. I mean, he couldn't do much other than go up and down the court, but he didn't get winded.
I'm sure he's just jogging, right? Like, and then that's not. I'm not knocking that guy, but like, yeah, you gotta
like
just be realistic. You got to be realistic about what your actual physical capabilities are. Capabilities. That is how people get injured. Period.
The guys who
if you
thrive
think you
in
are,
this, go ahead. You think you're what?
I think if you go out and try to play in a way that your body is not physically capable of playing any longer, that's injury. That's like the formula.
You're right.
It ends with
guys
you having surgery.
And what do you want to predict the injury I get?
ACL.
I was thinking Achilles, but I hope it's neither. The guys who thrive are my age or around my age, they seem, but they're big.
Sure.
They're guys who like clearly have skill and know how to like, good body control, but they're big. And I don't see them getting winded, which is what drives me crazy. So I do think that like I'll get conditioned if I run 5 miles twice a week. In a month or 2, it's going to be a lot easier to run that 5 miles. I'm not going to run it as fast as I did in high school or college, but it's going to get easier, right? Like your body just learns how to manage energy. At least that's what I'm telling myself.
I think that's right. Your body will learn how to manage energy, which means, again, you're now running at a level that your body can maintain to complete 5. You're not running all 5 miles, number one.
Yeah, you're right. Like I never developed beyond being a quick, shifty player.
Yeah, it's just, listen, I'm all for people playing recreational sports.
Sure.
But you got to have the right expectations of not only your performance, but like what you're capable of. Because if you don't, you will fucking hurt yourself. And dude, this isn't like high school where you got a trainer and you got parents take care of you, and they'll
and no responsibilities.
Right. You don't have a job that you have to go to on crutches now for 3 months.
Like imagine a sales guy coming in to pitch you, asking you for $15 million in business, hobbling in on crutches and explaining he did it in his over 40 basketball league.
Right. Imagine commuting. You talk about your commute, how bad it is on crutches.
Oh, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd find a way around it.
I'm sure
dude, you know what? You're right. You're scaring me. I stretched for a while yesterday before playing, which is going to have to be a thing. But so it's from 7 to 9, which means I'm going to have to stretch afterwards and before. So that's like becoming a 4-hour time commitment with showering and preparation. Just to play basketball.
Keep it one day a week. I think
that's the move.
And you got to just in your mind be like, I'm just going to go and jog up and down the court and play a little defense and hit some shots, but I'm not going to dominate.
The problem is, if everyone else on my team is going hard and they're like trying to win, I get caught up in that. I don't want to be the one guy that's like dogging it on defense.
That's what you just explained is the problem.
The recipe for the injury. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's why I won't play pickleball. Sarah plays pickleball, and
pickleball. I don't think there's as much of a risk of injury.
I completely disagree.
You're not jumping. You're not running into people. There's no contact.
Dude, it's left and right. That's it.
Dude, we're not 90. Right. We're 40. There are people our age still playing sports professionally.
Not that many.
Yeah, but there's a few.
I don't know of anybody who's in the 40s that still plays not basketball or not baseball.
But Michael Jordan played until he was 42.
That's right.
LeBron's going to play until he's 42. Julio Franco.
Okay, so it's me, you, LeBron, and Michael Jordan. That's it. Those are the only guys who are athletically active. Right. That play at a high level.
And Jamie Moyer.
I don't trust myself when it comes to pickleball. I
feel
like
Jamie Moyer pitch until he was 50?
He was, yeah, but again, the pitchers, man, the guy, that's different. That's like, it's almost golf.
A left-handed soft tosser is the perfect recipe to play until you're 50.
That's it.
I think you're okay to play pickleball, dude. Like, have you heard people getting injured playing pickleball?
No,
I haven't. I mean, I heard about on the Golden Bachelor, one lady broke her hip, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
I just remember the sensation of snapping my ACL, and
yeah, dude, you've had a very.
It's not going to happen. I can't do it in this house. I can't have that happen.
What did you think when you snapped your ACL?
I was like, I knew it was, I didn't know that's what it was, but I was like, something is significantly wrong.
Yeah,
and I'm done. I got nauseous. That's how I knew it was a bad injury. Whenever I had my worst injuries, I always felt sick to my stomach, and I did. I was like, yeah. And then I had to fucking get myself home, right? Like that's the other thing. Yeah. So it happens to you, and then like, where does it happen? Does it happen in a place where you then are still, you're the one who has to get yourself home? Like, I had to fucking, at the time, they wheeled me in a desk chair to the door, and then I had to shuffle my ass to my car, which was
the door of the hospital.
The door of the door of the gym. I didn't even go to the hospital. The door to the gym.
Oh,
I could
thought
barely
this happened
walk.
When you were playing footy.
No, this happened when I was playing fucking field floor hockey. That's how stupid this was.
I don't think I knew that. I don't think I realized you were playing floor hockey when you did it.
When I broke my leg playing footy, like an ambulance picked me up and took me to the hospital.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That was a serious thing. But then when I was playing floor hockey because I thought that'd be cool. I'd never played hockey before.
I mean, it isn't, but I get it. Was it fun?
It was fun. It was kind of fun, yeah. And I got better. Like every game, I was like, oh, this is, the first game I went to, I was like hustling, and I was just so out of breath and so drained.
Yeah.
Then I had to tone it down. But anyway, I played 5 games before I fucking injured myself. 0 goals, 0 assists.
Well, were you a defenseman?
I was wherever they needed me. Like, they had to tell me where to line up on face-offs and shit. Like, you don't think about that.
Is it 5-on-5?
I think it was, yeah.
And you're on not on skates, right? On feet?
Running around. And
That's awesome.
I wore cup. A lot of people weren't even wearing, like, I had gloves. I had hockey gloves and shin guards.
Why wouldn't you?
And I wore rec specs. I'm like, I don't fucking care how I look, but I am not going blind over this fucking floor hockey. And then in the meantime, I popped my ACL.
But anyway, for us right now, that's like a year recovery, right?
I'm still feeling the effects. It never gets better. That's the other thing.
That's brutal, dude.
But yeah, man, you got to take care of yourself, and that's the worst part. I mean, recovering from an injury, like, kind of in a weird way, like, gives you a purpose, gives you something to do. Which
it focuses your energy. No, I get what you mean.
gives you a goal to work towards and accomplish. So like that's fine. But like if you have a house with stairs in it, how are you getting up and down these stairs all the time? And like it fucking sucks, man. I'm not gonna willingly put myself in that position anymore.
Yeah.
But
you're making me think.
Some people still have to learn that lesson. I'm talking to one right now.
I've avoided big injuries. I just think that I've told you this before. I don't think I'm big enough for those type of injuries. Like I think that happens when you're a lot stronger and your momentum's going so hard that your body like I don't think that's it's just not the way I conduct myself in sports. So I don't know. Not that I get injured all the time, but nothing major. I think I'll be okay. I'll tell you what.
There's plenty of people who do these things and don't get
freaked
hurt.
out. Yeah, but like if I see someone like the ambulance come, then I'll get freaked out and quit. It's such a joy to play basketball again. I missed it so much, and I kind of thought I was
doing
done,
it, man.
But
just be careful. You just have to be. Again, it's if you are realistic and you only do what you're physically capable of, you probably you're like chance of injury goes way down. There's always a possibility that someone could fall into you or something like that. But as long as you're not doing something that's reckless.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I like how you I like how you just tossed that $450 Theragun into the side of the room.
I tossed it into its case.
Yeah, perfect. Then you throw the case. Now throw the case off screen. That's the play. Love it.
It's funny to watch something get thrown off screen.
It is, like, especially when it's something that everyone knows is expensive.
Yeah.
And there's no comment about it. All right, Friday, let's do YouTube videos.
Okay, I've got my list ready. I can't wait.
All right, man. See you.
All right, later, buddy.